Hello again, herb lovers. Today I wanted to do a follow-up on how I like to plant my tomatoes. So we're in here in the greenhouse and it's warm. I think it's 35 degrees, which for those of you on the Fahrenheit scale is 85 Fahrenheit in here at the moment. So it's a little warm. We've just planted out some lettuces down here which are drooping, but they will come right. And we're trying to clear space. So I'm a great believer in clearing a space and then planting straight back into it. So what we're going to do is we have got a celery here who is past her prime. So she is going to come out. And I don't care about standing on my garden beds. This is coming out because it didn't do very well anyway. And hello chickens. We clear a bit of a space here. And what I do is I scratch like one of my chickens in what seems like very dry dirt. And we take our tomato plants and break them gently apart and we lay them down. Okay, so a large portion of the stem is going to go in the soil. The next step, I have to leave and go and get a big pot of compost to throw on the top of them. So we shall be right back. All right, so we're back from the trek out into the garden. Phil wouldn't follow me, it's very rude. And we've got our homemade compost here out with the big compost bin out the back, not the little one in the side here that's making wonderful liquid compost. And what we do now is we just, you probably can't see because my hair's in the way. Let me just move my hair to the other side. We throw this just on top of the root ball. And we're also going to throw it up the length of the stalks or the stems of the tomatoes. So this is what I do. I just throw some compost on the top. There's nobody can get in here to dig things up, unlike outside where I've got blackbirds and chickens and goodness only knows what else. So we throw that beautiful compost on there from out of the garden. And then we get some nice grass clippings, which I put on top of the compost because I don't make hot compost. I make just compost from everything rotting down by itself. So sometimes there's weed seeds in here, which technically I don't really mind because they just cover the soil and I can always just chop them and drop them. But this just helps to keep the weeds down while these plants are establishing themselves. And what will happen, and I'm then going to water that in with some worm tea or some seaweed, and what will happen is the ends of those plants will just stand up. And basically it will look like I've got a tomato plant that started from here, even though you and I know that the roots are way back here. And all along this stem, because it's lying on the soil, will grow roots. And so my 4 little tomato plants that started in this little tiny container here are going to look like they were planted there and there and there and there. So it's clever spacing as well. And all of these all of these lettuces down here will all start perking themselves up again. It's just very warm in here at the moment and they're basically transpiring faster than their roots can pick up the water that's in the soil. So there we go. And the other thing I do is normally just stand in the middle of it here. I'm not frightened to stand on my soil because I'm constantly just building it up on the top by throwing layers of compost on top of the no-dig beds, basically. So there you have it. That is how I plant my tomatoes and why I put them in these little containers 4 at a time. So that's it from me this week. How are you planting your tomatoes? How are they going? Let's have a chat about that in the comments below, and I will see you all again in the next video. Love and lettuce, and bye for now.